Hello, this is Miss Surgeon again, and I am going to briefly cover the Haccp project that you all will work on, and it's going to take approximately 7 days to complete your draft before you present your final project to the class. So the first day we're going to cover Principle 1 of the Haccp plan. Principle 1 includes conducting a hazard analysis. So with your partner and the business that you created, your first step is to conduct a hazard analysis. Some may ask, what is a hazard analysis? Well, you have to first identify and assess potential hazards that can occur in your food service business. So you first look at prepping and serving, and you're going to look at also cooking. But you have to create a menu before you go into how food is prepped. If you do not know what you're cooking, then how can you properly, or how can you assess where or what a potential contaminant is, or where it could actually occur in your food service establishment. So first you conduct a hazard analysis by first identifying and understanding what you're preparing. So the first day you and your partner are going to create a menu. Then you're going to assess the potential hazards that can occur with each food item that is on your menu. So for an example, if you have chicken, then you have to explain what are the potential hazards when preparing and cooking chicken. If you are preparing salad, what are the potential contaminants that could occur when you are preparing salad? So you're going to break it down, create your menu, then break it down per item that's on your menu on the potential contaminants. Then you're going to go to Principle 2, which if you finish early with Principle 1 the first day, then you will start with Principle 2. But Principle 2 is for the second day, and that will be determine critical control points, CCP, critical control points. So you already have your menu. Now you have to find the points in the process of identifying hazards that can be prevented. How can you prevent those hazards? How can you eliminate or reduce to safe levels? And that is all under Principle 2. So you would start with purchasing. That's a critical control point. Receiving, storing, preparing, cooking, and then serving. So you have to go through each critical control point within your business and explain and identify what the critical control point is. And then in a paragraph form, explain how can you safely handle food in at each particular critical control point. So that's pretty intensive, and that's pretty much going to take you a whole day for Principle 2. Third day, you will cover Principle 3, establish your critical limits. And there is a difference between critical control points and your critical limits. So for each critical control point, which is what you did on the second day, you have to establish a minimum or a maximum limit. So these limits must be met to prevent or eliminate hazards or reduce to a safe level. So for an example, I'm going to read an example from the book. When cooking, identified as the critical control point for Star's Chicken and Biscuit business. Chicken breast is a critical control point. The critical limit that is needed for cooking chicken breast would be: management determined that the critical limit would be to cook the chicken to a minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees for 15 seconds. So you need to be able to explain, why would my business cook the temperature at 165? What is the reason for 165 degrees? And particularly as it relates to chicken breast. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with, what are we trying to do? Reduce the risk of potential contaminants or hazards. So, principle 3, establish critical limits. That's the third day. Principle 4, the fourth day, is to establish monitoring procedures. So, once critical limits have been created, then you and your partner, business owners, must determine the best way for your operation to check those critical control limits. What are you going to do? Are you going to check temperatures at a certain time? Are you going to use a certain type of thermometer? What procedures are you going to put in place? Then the fifth day is identify corrective actions. So you need to identify steps that must be taken when a critical control limit is not met. For an example, if my critical control limit is to cook chicken at 165 degrees for a minimum of 15 seconds, if that did not occur, what procedures are going to be put in place to make sure that that does occur? What procedures are going to be put in place if it doesn't occur? So you have to identify corrective actions to be able to fix potential problems